Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Folks, it is Tuesday, early evening, late afternoon. We have to talk about Vice President Kamala Harris. Yesterday, Monday, she rolled out the Economic Opportunity Plan for Black men, specifically Black men. And she's on a tour right now as well, called the Economic Opportunity Tour, okay, in case you didn't know. In my community section is the PDF. You can download it. If you have not seen it, don't worry about it. We're going to comb through it, and I'm going to bring on my first guest, Gene Richmond. And I decided to be as fair as I can be. You know, I'm no Democrat. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. But I say, let me at least put this in front of people, see how you feel. Does it work for you? Does it inspire you? I mean, it's full of incentives. There's no hard tangibles from what I could see. But again, I want you guys to chime in or just listen in. Also, we're going to talk about some of the things that sound very similar to what former President Obama, rolled out with the whole My Brother's Keeper initiative. And, I don't know. As you should know, last week he was in Pittsburgh and he campaigned for her. He was very harsh, according to many people, with regards to Black men. He was finger waving and saying things like, I may have a problem with that. I mean, it was very, very elitist, if you will. But again, I want to be fair with regards to what she has rolled out. Do you think that she will make good on some of these things if elected? Now, I hope she doesn't get elected. Let me be clear. But, either way, I'm going to get mine. All right. Also, guys, I can't even say it. Showrunner, Fat Joe admits to using Ozempic. This is according to TMZ and a few other sources. I've got to slow down. That man has never disrespected me. We've had some good conversations. He's been on my show back in the days. But, I haven't seen him in years, and he's become somewhat of a liar. A bold-faced liar, There were no Biggie tracks with Fat Joe. There was no whole album that was done that disappeared because of a fire in the studio and some of the other lies that he's been telling. But now if he admits to using Ozempic, that's the weight loss drug that by way of diabetes or something like that. Okay. But I specifically remember him 2 years ago going and doing interviews, and he was saying, I just lost the weight the natural way. I stopped with the bread. I stopped with the sodas, low carbs. And he said he was doing a lot of exercise. Yes, no? So when do the lies stop? All right. All right. That's my show this evening. As I said, those two topics, and we may touch on Sydney Wilson. This was a former college basketball player who was shot and killed. She attacked a police officer with a knife. I saw the video. You saw the video. She went to University of Georgetown. She came out the door and said, "How are you?" and started slicing the officer. He did what he had to do. All right. And salute to World Star Hip Hop. They had trans woman. They called her a trans woman, but based upon my research, this was not a trans woman. This was a young Black woman, and she's now deceased. All right. Okay. Let's get down to business. I want to get my first guest on the line. He is going to set the tone. Gene Richmond, are you there, sir? Good afternoon. Good evening. Gene Richmond.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be on the Star Report this afternoon.
Thank you for being.
I hope you're enjoying your day.
Yes. Thank you for being available. I wanted you to set the tone with regards to this topic. We've been looking over this this rollout, if you will, roughly 9 pages. Vice President Kamala Harris. In your opinion, was this a reaction to former President Obama talking greasy and talking down to Black males last week, or was this something she already had cocked in the barrel and ready to go? Gene Richmond.
Well, the Obama initiative now, we're going down to about a little under 3 weeks left until election night, right. And Obama is coming out to do his due diligence, if you will, as the former Democratic president of the United States, to support Kamala Harris. Right. But I think separately, this economic plan was put into place, this economic opportunity plan to achieve financial freedom which is primarily geared at black males. And the reason why it's primarily geared at black males is because they were looking at the numbers, recent numbers, and the polls are showing that overwhelming numbers of black males are leaning towards votes for Donald Trump. And it is looking at about 25%. That is an overwhelming number. And they haven't seen these kind of numbers since 1960. The research polls have shown. And I think this is a response to that. And that economic plan is directly geared towards the black male experience. But there's a few issues here with this plan. Many people are seeing it as a response and something to pacify young black males, young entrepreneurs, if you will, to get the vote in. And this will be something just like any other political scheme that falls by the wayside. Now, on paper, it looks good. It gives about $1 million in loans that are forgivable, up to $20,000. They have regulations on digital currency, incentives to become apprenticeships and home ownership and things of that nature, and also legalizing recreational marijuana. And I think we know why that was put into effect.
You know, but I was insulted by the whole legalizing recreational marijuana and creating opportunities part. I was insulted by that, but continue.
Well, I can understand the insult, but we got to understand why this was put in. We got to understand why this was put in there.
Please.
Kamala Harris is no fool. I know most people want to think she is because she's giddy. She can appear to be witty. She chuckles a lot, but I think this woman is very calculating. And remember, she was a former prosecutor, and it takes a very cunning individual to be an effective prosecutor. And she was very effective if you look at her track record. So, you know, with the marijuana initiative, it's almost saying, well, you know, black men have been unjustly convicted in the past of these marijuana charges, and now we're opening up a pathway to them so they can use this resource to gain an advantage, if you will. But again, like I said, there are problems with this because not everybody is buying it. You know, this is looking like something that needs to be put into place in the last couple of weeks to gain these percentage points back so they can secure that black vote uniformly, because she has captured the black woman vote at about 97%. That's in the bag, and she already knew that she had it. But black men right now are wavering, and they're looking at that percentages leaning towards Donald Trump.
If I can jump in for a second, I'm looking at some of the framework here, supporting a regulatory framework for cryptocurrency and other digital assets. You pointed that out already. You know, the word cryptocurrency scares a lot of people now because we've seen all sorts of tragedies come about and scamming, if you will. And the whole education, training, and mentorship programs for black men to become teachers. I'm not a parent of any biological kids. Last I checked, teachers aren't getting any money nationwide. They're fighting for all sorts of respect and pay. It just seems to me like a lot of fluff, if you will. And I'm trying to be fair and objective, but it's a whole lot of initiatives, kind of like what Obama did. You know, hey, if you work hard, you know, you can reap the benefits. It's like dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit's face. Yes, no?
And what you're saying is correct on that frame. If you look at the history of the Democratic Party, going back at least the past 50 years, it's been a lot of promises from the civil rights era up until today's modern day era. It's been a lot of promises, and they've always used the black vote as a tool to gear in so-called people of color. Yeah. Blacks have always been primarily on the forefront when it comes to civil rights issues, when it comes to the human rights issues, and then when it comes to economic and social all in one. And they use that, and it's been used, unfortunately, not to the black societal advantage. Yeah. It always seems like they're sharing these so-called initiatives with other groups. But again, we're seeing the tide start to change. People are not giving the vote away. People are saying, in order to get this vote, we have to get something in return. And men are aligning themselves with the Trump initiative and the ideology of an effective economy, which will equal effective results. Yeah. Because they understand now the Democrat Party has been playing them for a fool, and now people do not trust the Kamala Harris idea. They do not trust the Kamala Harris theme, and they don't trust the Kamala Harris philosophy because, again, I'll go back to her being a prosecutor, and that looms over her because she prosecuted a lot of black males in a lot of drug cases. I mean, this is fact, and this is open record, and a lot of people are going back to that and putting that into the forefront. So I think with this initiative, she has an uphill battle.
Yeah. Let me just say, I heard you mention she's giving other groups and or cultures initiatives. I disagree. She's giving them tangibles. She's well, along with President Joe Biden. Are there any tangibles from what you could see in this, 9-page economic opportunity plan? Any tangibles, or is it just, saying, hey, these are the things I will do if you vote for me? Did I miss tangibles?
Well, again, I combed through it and I didn't see anything tangible that will be a lasting effect for generational growth. What I see is initiatives saying, hey, we're going to give you an economic head start to get footing in the economic landscape. I think this is what these initiatives are trying to reveal. And I think people are saying, well, what do we get from this that will help us thrive moving forward, that we can have as like you said, tangibles, and that we can continue on in a generational way. And they're not touching that. They're talking about here's incentive, here's a head start, here's what we can give you to get there. Yeah. But it's not promising anything. Like you said, other groups have been promised.
Let me jump in and say, folks, I want to be as objective as I can. If you are fine with, Vice President Harris and what she has rolled out for black men, please call in, chime in, join the conversation. I'll give you the last word, as you know. And let's also point out, number 9, for those who don't know, she was more than just a prosecutor. She was the 32nd Attorney General of the state of California. So she's very smart, clever, if you will, giddy, and she knows how to play possum. She laid in the cut for close to 4 years with President Biden. Has he been on the road campaigning for her, or is he just not in the right mental state at this point in his life?
Well, he's almost persona non grata. I knew he made an appearance recently, a very short appearance, but after that, there hasn't been much talk about Joe Biden at all. He's almost out of sight, out of mind.
Easy.
At this point, he's almost kind of faded away into the shadows. I mean, there's been more press about Barack Obama and Michelle than Joe Biden.
We wish him all the best. He is our president. Okay. Let's continue on with this here. Again, I see a lot of tools, but no tangibles, and I'm wondering if this is enough for black males who, and by the way, let's talk about some of the black males that have been giving pushback. They're saying, no, this is not going to do it. This is too late. And for those who never saw Vice President Harris back in 2019 when she was on the Griot during an interview, a video interview, she says, no, I'm not doing anything specifically for black people. She said, no, quote unquote, no. So the turnaround clearly is due to the lack of support she's getting. Is she a bold-faced liar, or has she grown in the world of politics, in your opinion?
Well, I think deception and cunning and verbal master technique is a part of being a good politician. One might call it lies, or one might call it political machinations, if you will. Yeah. The reality is she understands that she has an election to win, and she understands that she has to be a politician par excellence at this point. She has to appeal to the demographics that she understands that she will need to gain access to the presidency. Mm-hmm. She needs to have the support of these demographics in full force and full form. But the problem is unfortunately, she's not as appealing as one would say a Barack Obama would be, who is, like him or not, a very unique orator, a very manipulator.
He's
of
one of
words.
the best. He's one of the best.
One of the best. One of the best.
Unfortunately, take off your slippers, put on your marching shoes, shake it off.
I mean, he speaks. He almost speaks like a communist ideologue.
A pimp.
I mean,
a pimp.
or a pimp, a hustler, or a magician, like people have said, the magician.
Yeah. Wow.
But I think people. I mean, it's a new generation. It's a new voting bloc that is coming out there.
Yes.
I'm not saying the older generation is no longer voting in elections, but I'm saying there's an access to these politicians that young Americans have that they didn't have in the past. And I'm talking about the digital landscapes, the alternative media, the social media platforms that can give you a bird's eye view and uncover levels of information that was never done before. Because remember, once upon a time, all you had were the big three: CBS, ABC, NBC. You had people like Tom Brokaw, Dan Rather, and Peter Jennings. Mm-hmm. And that's how people got their information, and that's how people got their news. Now, that tide has changed, and politicians are exposing themselves, if you will, in ways that we've never seen before. And Kamala Harris is just not as appealing as one might think. And most importantly, we're looking at the current economy. She is the vice president of the United States as we speak. And this economy has not been has not treated many Americans well in as far as staying power, financial power, cost of services and cost of goods, and things of that nature. We have a border that's wide open, and people are taking that into consideration, especially so-called minority communities.
Yeah. I'll even say that she is a failed politician. She had to drop out of the race once upon a time. And then, if you ask me, she was a DEI hire. She's a horrible speaker. She can't speak without a teleprompter, but here she is. And before you go, do you think you can speak to the electoral process? Because it's not, the popular vote is not going to put either her or Trump there. Can you give us a little insight for those who don't know, please?
Well, no, essentially the popular vote essentially really doesn't do it. And that's under the votes that we, the American people, put forth. U.S. election candidates are elected directly towards the popular vote. But with presidents and vice presidents, there's the electoral college process, which is a total of 538 electoral cast votes, and the candidate must gain about 270 to get that win. And in this electoral, who are the electorates that decide this are prominent figures in the Republican and Democratic parties, and each state gets about 2 of these electoral votes in this process to then essentially finish off who will be the next president of the United States and reaching in the tally of these 270 electoral votes. Yeah.
Hey, man, I thank you for your time. I know you're moving, shaking, and popping, but I appreciate you tapping in. Let's you and I catch up a little bit later on this evening or tomorrow if time permits.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. Thank you. Okay. All right.
Thanks.
It's my friend Gene Richmond, a.k.a. number 9. Guys, phone lines are open. Salute to Damien. I got your donation, sir. Okay. Javier, I got your donation. Thank you as well. Shanita, I got your donation. Thank you so much. Okay. And guys, on the screen, as you can see, my showrunner, Fat Joe, admits to using Ozempic. Is this not a big deal? He's he's executive producer of the BET Hip Hop Awards. I think that's coming up. Yes, no? Good afternoon in the live chat. I hope you guys are well, and I hope that you're trolling heavy. But I do want to approach this from a very objective perspective. Kamala Harris unveiling her economic agenda targeting black men. Okay. And I want to talk about my Squirrel Party channel a little bit later, my YouTube channel. We posted a new video this morning, and the squirrel that I always talk about, Primo, he's in the first minute or two of the video in case you go there and you see the one jumping all crazy. That's primo. Okay, but we'll get to that later. Let me bring out some other calls here so we can flush this out. Are you there? Good afternoon. Area code 718. 718.
Hey, how you doing, Star? Can you hear me?
Good. Who's this?
This is Neil. I'm in Miami, Florida right now.
Hey, man.
Used to live in New York.
Okay.
From 2000 to 2012.
Okay.
So I know you remember that era. Star and Buckwild show and all that. So yeah, it's good to talk to you for the first time since then.
Okay. Are you getting to the topic? Kamala Harris and
yes, Star.
Economic agenda.
Yes, Star.
Please.
Yeah. Yes. But what Kamala is offering, it's nothing different. It's the same story. Here we are again. They find out that their backs are against the walls, and first she threw out Magic Johnson, and then he attempted to chastise us. Then when they see that didn't get enough traction, or maybe that was a part of their original plan, here comes Obama, and he has these little stooges standing around him, just looking up at daddy like, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. And this is where they are right now. Based on some of the trends that we're showing from the time Obama had been in office to when Hillary Clinton and all the way down here, African American males, the support for has been dropping.
Yeah.
And so,
Neil, I got to jump in for a second. I can appreciate you, giving us some context, but did you see the economic opportunity plan that she unveiled yesterday? Not that you had to. I'm just curious.
I did look at a few of the items.
Right.
I think there was a 5-point item, if that's the one that you're referring to.
Yep, came out yesterday.
Yeah, I did glimpse it.
Okay.
And I saw some of the things that she was mentioning about small business and deductible and stuff about weed and what have you. But Star, without getting all academic and anything like that, the truth is that as a demographic, we've been ignored for too long of a period, and right now we just need real, like some folks say, tangibles. Stuff guaranteed.
Well, sir, are you in my tax bracket when you say we? I don't support tribalism. Oh,
you don't support tribalism?
No, sir. Are you in my tax bracket? Where do you live in Florida? You say you clone. What part of Florida are you in?
I don't know if I'm in your tax bracket. I'm in North Miami, Florida.
Oh, no. Okay. Well,
What's
listen.
wrong with North Miami?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. I'd rather eat a glass sandwich rather than live there. But now, hang on a second. Hang on. So now, do you vote, Neil? Do you vote?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
What do you mean I'm sure? Of course I'm sure.
Okay, well, you paused. Okay. So you did vote then the last election, and you vote on the local level. I just want to, I want to be fair with regards to the vice president unveiling this, economic plan. Never mind the fact that I'm going to vote for Trump and I'm a Trump supporter. But you do vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on top of that, Star, I do reserve the right to abstain from voting, and I also reserve the right to even vote for a third party as well.
Yes, you do, but you said we a few times. So I just, I wasn't sure. When you said we, I'm just
when I say we, I'm talking about every person. Well, I'm 47 years old, right? Okay. I'm so-called African American. Born and raised in Jamaica in my formative years. Okay. And and have lived in America for over 35 years. Okay. So, when I say we, I'm talking about the demographics that shares the ideals that I share, that have the experiences that I have.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And regardless of how much money we make or we don't make, we still have the right to make these demands, because right now, due to the fact that Harris and Trump are virtually neck and neck in the so-called black males or black African American males who has the potential to shift the race, the balance of the scales for Kamala Harris.
Okay. Listen, I appreciate your call, man. Thank you for your support. I'm going to bring some other callers on, all right? Have a great evening.
Thanks.
Thank you. He was talking that wee stuff like he was French. Evelyn, I got your donation. Oh, thank you, darling. She says she missed me. I've been, taking a couple of days off, Evelyn, since going viral again. I hate that, but I'm here this afternoon and I want to have this discussion. Anybody who wants to call in support of what you saw, and if you think that, Vice President Harris is capable of doing the job of being the president, never mind me. I give you the last word. I'm still combing through this. I've got things highlighted here. She's got things with regards to the burden of medical debt. A lot of things that sound great, but it appears to be all thrown together. I'm just not sure. I want to hear you guys out. Let me go to area code 347. Good afternoon, early evening. Are you up to speed on the topic? 347.
Good afternoon. It's Firestarter.
Hey, what's up, man? How you been?
From New York. I can't complain. So how's everything?
It's cracking and shaking.
Enjoying the show lately. You've been killing it lately.
Thank you.
I've been a long time supporter, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the plan is BS. I've never heard of a candidate 3 weeks before an election who throws out a plan for a certain demographic of people. It just seems like it's extra pandering.
Okay.
And it just seems like she knows she's losing, so she's trying everything. As the previous caller said, she had old-ass Magic Johnson, old-ass Obama. It's like she's out of touch. Respectfully, these new niggas don't give a F about Obama. These young kids don't care about Magic Johnson. It's just she's out of touch. And I feel like they know that she's losing, and they're just trying out anything. Because, of course, today...
She is a politician. Politicians are seasoned liars, and the polls say that they're neck and neck. I don't believe the propaganda of that myself. I think that most people who are, voters, they can see through her lunacy. But again, I'm trying to be as fair as possible this afternoon.
But you got to remember as well, no one voted for her to be the DNC candidate.
You're right.
And I feel like they think that they have to vilify, talking about they meaning the Democratic Party, they have to vilify somebody.
Yeah.
But this is the first time, I believe, in history, I'm not sure, I know you're smarter than me, where there's been a DNC candidate that no one voted for to be the representative of the Democratic Party is going neck and neck with the Republican candidate. So this just seems so put together and, no pun intended, like trumped up, like, yeah,
bizarre.
She's the one.
Bizarre.
But when she was, when she was running in, what was it? Was she running, 2016 or 22, whatever year that was? She couldn't win. She didn't win anything. She didn't win California. She left.
Yeah.
But as I said, for lack of repeating myself, as I said, the plan is stupid, because if you look on one of the things, it said she wants to create mentorships or something of that nature, or mental health for black men and others. Yeah. And it says and others. Yeah. And number two, didn't Barack try to do something like that? Barack Hussein with My Brother's Keeper, with the whole
My Brother's Keeper initiative. Yeah.
That's what it is, part two. So it's like they think black men are stupid. And I feel like, as I said before, they know that they're going to lose. So
I'm going to give you the last word, but let me just say this. I think a lot of black men that I've seen, on social media, also on X, formerly known as Twitter, I think that they're onto her. I like the pushback. I like it, and it's just you try not to make it about race, but America is about race. It most certainly is, even though race is a social construct. It's right in our faces, and they are pushing back. And I don't think that Barack Obama talking down to black men in Pittsburgh a week ago is going to help her at all. People have been taking his head off. Go ahead.
But why are they not out trying to get the Asian vote? Why are they not out trying to get the Mexican vote? Yeah. Why are they not talking down to the Venezuelan men? Why are they not down talking to, all the Irish men? It's always black men. Black men have to take off their house slippers. Yeah. And, black men are the crazy ones voting for Trump.
Yeah.
It's just, But as I said before, they're trying to set up the scapegoats for when she loses. It's black men's fault she loses. But if she wins, it was the AKAs that did it and the rural white woman. As you said, black men are onto her. My last point is, Star, when you coming back up here to the bowling alley?
Okay, listen, man, I want to stay focused on Kamala Harris. Great to talk to you, man. Thank you. Okay, fire started tapping in. Guys, according to thehill.com, Vice President Harris has also rolled out an economic ads for Asian American voters. Thehill.com. Okay. Ads for economic ads for Asian American voters. Thank you for your donation in the live chat. Hey, Spirit, good to hear from you, man. Salute, Star. Me and my wife are voting for the couch. Okay. Hey, Penelope, thank you for your continued support. Oh, thank you. She said, oh, yeah, the latest episode of Squirrel Party that was posted this morning, it's 5 hours. So you're going to have to pause it, as you said, and go on about your day and come back. But in the first couple of minutes, that's Primo, the squirrel that's always jumping around. That's him jumping into the camera. I think he's a little over a year. He's not that old because he was tiny when I first saw him last year doing all those weird flips and stuff. All right. I think this is Skylar Saunders. Mr. Saunders, is that you, sir? Early afternoon?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good to hear from you, man. What's cracking?
Hey, I'm getting this money.
As you should be, sir. As you should be.
Thank you.
Are you up to speed on Kamala Harris unveiling the economic agenda targeting black men as of yesterday?
Not to sound, like I'm trying to skip out on it, but Mr. Gene, what's his name? Gene Richmond.
Gene Richmond, number 9.
Succinctly and thoroughly explained it. I just wanted to get to the dumb stuff with Fat Joe.
Oh, okay. well, if you find the time, sir, because you are former military, it's in my community section. Yes. You can download it, the PDF. But Fat Joe, according to TMZ and other sources, has admitting to using Ozempic. Your thoughts, please.
Yes, this is a great step forward because, as we all know, almost 25 years ago, his partner, Big Pun, we lost him because he was not just obese, he was morbidly obese. He was very heavy. He was around 500 to 600 pounds when he died. Yeah. So he died of a heart attack. So Fat Joe was, he was oscillating because he slimmed down and then he gained it back and slimmed down. Now he gained it back and slimmed down right now. Yeah. He was going back and forth. So I think he's going to continue on. He's eliminating carbs from his diet. Yeah. He's using like you said, he's using the Ozempic, and he's eating leaner meats. He's doing the damn thing. He's doing the right thing.
I think he's just a junkie. I don't think he's doing too much. I don't think he's doing too much any of that stuff. I think he's just injecting himself. He might be, doing something else we don't know about. I mean, Joe is a compulsive liar, and the lies just don't stop. But might you be doing a video about this on your platform?
I'm on my Diddy mess. I'm really on my Diddy kick.
Yeah. Pause.
I'm on Diddy's kick right now, but maybe in the future when if there's no stories about Diddy, I can talk about.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, man, I got to get back to what it is that I'm doing, guys. Check out Skylar Saunders' YouTube channel. Oh, let me put your information on the screen. I forget to keep doing.
Thank
this,
you.
Man.
Because I'm going live at 6:00 Eastern time. Talking about Diddy. I'm using my MacBook. Hopefully it will work.
As you should. Hang on a second. I got to find your information. I should have had it right in front of me. And the Diddy videos have been doing good for you, yes?
Very well. These are the most views I've had, and more importantly, watch hours I've had. Yeah. Ever.
Yeah. So, let's see when I talk.
Thanks to you. Thank you again because you said, "Hey, dummy, hey, dummy, why don't you?"
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You didn't say that, but you know.
Let's talk behind the scenes.
Because
I got some other ideas. Let's talk behind the scenes because you're going down a great direction with the Diddy stuff. But let's come up with another strategy. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Skylar Saunders, guys. That's his information right there. And folks, if you're looking to be a sponsor on the show, you know what we do here with the show runners, the community sections, the live reads, and so on and so forth. Reach out to me via email. Okay. Sit tight in the phones, guys. I'm coming to you next. Lance, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. The check-in report. I see you, sir. Are you calling in? A check-in report. We had some issues on Friday's show. You had some great commentary. If you want to call in, just shoot me an email. Get you back on the line about Kamala Harris, you know. But thank you for your donation as well. Double Thought Show. The text is very general. For example, they use black entrepreneurs, not black male entrepreneurs, right? And they use the word others after that as well. Yes. It's deceiving. It's deceiving. But again, because I'm, a Trump supporter, I voted for Trump twice, and I'll vote for him again. I don't want to, just totally pick it apart. But I've got it right here. Got a lot of things highlighted. Yeah, she uses a lot of a trick bag, if you will, terminology. I salute the Florida boy Jay. That's he's one who sent me this PDF. But thank you for your donation. The check-in report says Kamala's plan is a good starting point, but I want to see her tap dance for black men, just like she does for the European and LGBTQ plus. It's not enough. Let's go to area code 606. Are you up to speed? Did you see the economic agenda rolled out yesterday by Vice President Harris? 606. Are you there? Are you ready? 606.
Yes, sir.
Maybe?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? Can you turn that down in the background, please, so we can have a discussion?
Give me 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
All right, now here we go. Can you hear me now?
Let's go. Go ahead.
Start. Ever since 40 acres and a mule, we've been promised stuff from these politicians. Donald Trump came to the area where I live in Kentucky and promised.
All right, sir, you have to turn that down in the background, please. It's echoing. Come on, please. Come on.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's echoing. Okay?
I turned it completely off now.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Now, the politicians are always going to promise stuff to voters.
Yes.
They're always going to do that. That's how they get the vote.
Mm-hmm.
Trump came to southeastern Kentucky. He told us he was going to bring back coal mining and farming. None of that happened. None of it happened. Kamala Harris is just trying to get votes. She sees she's losing,
mm-hmm.
and she's using everything she has to try to sway people's mind. This election is already over. Donald Trump has won it. She should have went on Joe Budden, Vlad, academic.
Joe Rogan, you mean?
Anywhere.
Joe Budden. Joe Budden.
No, she should have went on Joe Budden.
Okay.
If she wanted the black man's vote. Joe Rogan is a right-wing podcast in my mind, in my opinion.
Well, hang on a second. I'm going to jump in here because I saw a report yesterday that she does have plans to go on Joe Rogan's show, and so does former President Trump. Now, let me just address what you said. Yes, they're all liars. I've said that on multiple occasions over the decades. Politicians are seasoned liars. But I'm trying to be fair and objective here today with regards to what she has rolled out. I don't want to sit here and just do a show about, vote for Trump. I don't tell anybody.
Oh, no, I'm not bashing Trump either.
No, but I'm saying I don't tell anybody who to vote for. I hope that you're voting, but I want to be fair with regards to what she rolled out. It might work for some people. Just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it doesn't, might not work for you, Go ahead.
Right. Well, in the immortal words of Big Pun, my wife said, "Flunk Trump."
Okay.
Peace.
Okay. All right. Folks, we're going to watch the language. That's what we're going to do. I don't mind your talk, but once you start cursing, you got to go. Okay. Showrunner, youtube.com/@Spirit Smooth Tunes. Let me bring in area code 301. Hey, please watch the language. It's a Tuesday evening. If you're there, 301, we're talking about Kamala Harris and her new economic agenda for black men. Are you there? 30.
Hey, Star, I'm here, man.
Yes, sir. How are you? It's cracking.
I'm doing well. I just want to comment on this Kamala Harris agenda.
Okay.
And the point I want to make is I want to say the Democrats, they are arrogant because they thought they got this election on points because of all the attacks and the way they were coming against Trump. They had all this plan, oh, we're going to lock him up. So they never pay attention to the people right. And the way the demographic of the votes is changing. Their focus was just Trump. And while they were doing that, Trump was focusing on his agenda and things that he's going to change. So that cryptocurrency that Kamala Harris is talking about,
yeah.
Star, I know you talked about that, but it's very important to black men. A lot of black men' economic situation has changed because of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very important part. And I have friends who are into cryptocurrency who are saying that the Democrats are going to lose this election because they'll be extremely hostile towards cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. So because of that reason, Trump came out and he said, I'm going to support cryptocurrency.
Right.
I'm not supporting CBDC, the central bank digital currency. Right. There's a lot of these things that Trump was saying. Now they realize that they're losing this demographic of vote of black men because of their arrogance. And now they realize that the margin is getting smaller and smaller. That's why you have the Obama, the Magic Johnson. Black men don't care about what Obama has to say to them. Yeah. Black men are at the point where they have a mind of their own. Black men are smarter now. Black men now are entrepreneurs and stuff like that. They don't look at black leadership no more because black leadership has never done anything for them. Yeah. So black men are at the point now where they start making money. They start figuring out how to make their own money, do their own business. So there's no Obama that can say anything to no black men.
If I can jump in here for a second. Yeah, and you're right. One of the 5 points with regards to Vice President Harris is supporting a regulatory framework for cryptocurrency and other digital assets. You know, it was under 2 years ago that President Biden was talking about finding a way to tax cryptocurrency. Do you remember that?
I remember that capital gains tax of over 40%.
Yes. So it just seems like, you know, a lot of words are being thrown around here to suck people in. But again, I don't want to just kick her back, and I want to give people a chance to speak. I don't know, man. She strikes me as well, they're all liars, all politicians, senior liars, but just a bold-faced liar. And I don't think she expresses herself well. Her body language is horrible, and I think this is a last-ditch attempt to pull in black men. I don't think it's going to work. But go ahead.
It's not going to work because, again, like I said again, black men has been left out in the cold. To a point where black men have learned how to figure things out on their own. So once somebody learn how to figure something out on their own, you have nothing to tell them. So they're at the point where they realize that they're losing the vote. We've been talking about this, Star. You've been talking about this. I've been talking about this. The Democrats are losing the black men vote. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The arrogance never let them come and rethink and say, what do black men need? Like you was talking about child support. Yeah. The democratic governments are more harsh towards child support on black men than any other politics as far as Democrat and Republican.
I agree.
Those are things that they need to talk about. And you want to talk about weed and cryptocurrency? That's just tell you how they think about black men. We're nothing to this.
Yeah. I appreciate the call, sir. Any thoughts on Fat Joe admitting to using Ozempic, or do you not care?
You know what, Star, I don't know if you watched one time, Fat Joe had MTV Cribs, and he was licking the bottom of his Jordans. Ever since then, I've lost respect for Fat Joe.
I didn't see that.
Ever since then, I lost respect for Fat Joe.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Okay. Have a good night,
yes,
man.
Sir.
Thank
All
you.
right. Salute. Okay. Good afternoon, early evening. Are you there on a Tuesday?
Hey, how you doing, Star? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you? Good evening.
I'm doing fine. Yeah, I'm listening to her proposal.
Okay.
4 out of the 5 are for everyone. I don't see how they just only apply to black man.
Yeah.
But the one shook me. The first one regarding the $20,000. That's impossible. I'm assuming that will have to come from the SBA. But in 2008, when affirmative action by the Supreme Court was reversed, you can no longer give someone something based on their race.
Right.
And even if you apply, if you're working in the getting government contracts or getting money from the government, you don't. They had a program called the 8A program, a popular program, or disadvantaged business enterprise. You no longer can just use your race as a single qualification. You need another qualifier, such as I'm black and I've been discriminated through my life, and this is the way. So by saying that it's just not possible. So I don't know how that's going to get passed to anybody.
Well, stay with me. I appreciate the call here. Listen, I'm a high school dropout. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I live my life a certain way, and I am concerned about others who are trying to figure things out. Hell, I had to figure it out. I learned by way of trial and error. But am I crazy to think that if she's going to, specifically target black men, something with regards to child support should be put on the table? If you're going to target black men, why not some type of legal assistance program? There's so many people who get incarcerated. They can't even get out because they don't have the right representation or they don't know lawyers. Would you agree, or can you at least speak to that?
100% agree. How the way the judicial system is set up, they build prisons to fill them up.
Yeah.
And they're going to fill them up with poor black people every day, all day.
Yeah.
And unless that system gets changed, I don't see any way. How can it be turned around? Each state has multiple prison systems they use. They even have prison systems. A few weeks ago, you were talking about them working in Wendy's and McDonald's.
Yeah.
To help fund the prison. It's a moneymaker.
Slave labor. A lot of those prisons, they get you in there. They want to keep you in there. They deny you parole, and they make you go to work for slave wages, literally. Go ahead.
It's people. Let's say you do go to prison or jail, serve your time. You can get out. There's people serving 15 years or 20 years of probation after they serve time in prison or jail.
Yeah.
And they're not going to address that because they want to employ, they have the Second Chance Act, but the Second Chance Act is so much more that can be done. So if I serve my time in prison, in jail, if I have a felony charge, when I get out, how come I automatically don't have the right to vote? How come I automatically don't have the right to possess a firearm again? If I serve my time, we are laying the second chances. You have to wait 5 years, and depending on the charges you got to go in front of a judge and try to reapply to get your rights back. You don't automatically get granted your rights back when you serve your time. Some people, you go to prison, you get certain type of charges on you. You can't move into an apartment complex.
Yeah.
You might can't buy a house inside of this neighborhood because of the HOA requirements, and you having this type of charge.
Talk about it.
You to live inside of this neighborhood.
Talk about it. The HOA. Pardon me, I didn't mean to talk on top of it. Talk about it. The HOA requirements. Go ahead.
So this type, and we're just talking about somebody having a place to live.
Yeah.
So we're talking about serving your time. If they don't want to tackle that, because it can be tackled, and the stars young. They put black kids, they don't want to deal with them. You too rowdy in class, they're going to put you in special education.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll put you in home detention, or they'll literally send you home. Go home, don't come back no more. If you don't come, we don't care. We got another place for you called a penitentiary. That's where you're going in next.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I have. Thanks for your time.
Hey, man, I appreciate the call. Thank you. Okay, all right. Very knowledgeable man. Guys on the screen, youtube.com/@Coffee Chat with Camille. It's one of my sponsors. And in the community section, we post Camille's videos. She does great commentary. Camille, if you're out there, at your suggestion, I watched the movie Never Let Go with Halle Berry. And I know I said the other day I wasn't sure about the film, but this morning I woke up and I said, you know, that film was trash. That film was trash. Yeah, it most certainly was. But I watched it because I like Halle Berry. I respect her as an actress. But I don't know, the accent. It didn't work. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Does anybody care? Wait a minute. Okay, I think this is one of my sponsors right here. Chef C, is that you tapping in? Chef C.
Chef C, checking in from Jersey. What's happening with you, Star?
Hey, man, good to hear from you. Let me get your information on my screen whilst you're doing some promoting, please. Go ahead.
Well, I will say this. Particularly, I want to touch on the Fat Joe situation real quick. That nigga, Fat Joe. I used to run a restaurant, and let me tell you something. Fat Joe always came to the restaurant and ate up all the Clams Casino.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
We never had any Clams Casino left for the Custies, and now the nigga got the Ozempic popping off, and it's a new day. Get the hell out of here.
Now, hang on a second, Chef C. Chef C, hang on. Yeah. On their next podcast, that's you. Yes, want to be.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
It's in my showrunner right now. Are you going to be doing content on Fat Joe on your platform, admitting to being?
I'm gonna have to cook him.
You have
Thursday
to.
Or Friday.
You have to.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Because again, like I said, we ran every time he came in there.
Yeah.
He eat up all the Clams Casino. Okay. We never had any Clams Casino left, and he also liked chicken Milanese. But nonetheless, all of this is cap. He's not on no. Fat Joe like to eat. He ain't working out. None of this stuff. He's about a heartbeat from clocking out. Everybody taking this Ozempic stuff. They better calm down. They better calm down because Ozempic got just as many bodies as Brittany Renner. But nonetheless, we're gonna have to go. Let's go to the. Let's talk about this plan. Excellent plan.
Come on.
By Kamala Harris.
Okay.
She has done what she always does, well, at least what that Democratic Party does, which is nothing. This is an absolute phenomenal example of what they continue to do, which is deliver nothing of substance to the Black American community, especially men.
Okay.
So I got to put a little respect on her. I mean, they ran her out. You know, Obama was the first Manchurian prototype. And they say, you know what, listen, we got to go ahead and run the play another time. But let's switch it up and give a little sister girl. And the problem is the first prototype cooked the second prototype. So now you're coming out here with this bullshit, with this BS plan.
I need you to watch the language, please. Chef C, watch the language, please.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
This plan, it does nothing for our community. Men have watched inflation tear the back out of everybody. We've also watched rent, mortgages, interest rates, etc., skyrocket within the last 3.5, going on 4 years. And now you roll out this thing and talk about loan forgiveness of maybe $20,000 to men. Maybe if you got a business.
Yeah.
First and foremost, what is $20,000 going to do if a guy is 100+ in debt off of operating expenses?
Yeah.
Right. So now we got to be realistic, especially where, you know, most of the time, a lot of Black men, start out businesses for cats.
Yeah.
So we already ran it up trying to get it off the ground. You coming over here, you're going to tickle us and then what? Run off and listen, what we need that Ukraine treatment. We need the Israel treatment. Give us a few billion here and there. then listen. If she did that, I will definitely consider Kamala Harris. I just got to keep it above.
Okay. But now, for those who don't know her history in terms of what she has done, you do know that she is the one who her deciding vote pushed us into the inflation. Yes, you do know that.
Absolutely, she was the tie-breaking vote.
Yeah, twice she said to the American Rescue Plan of 2021 and the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. So she's she's got a lot to if people vote her in the electoral process, she's got a lot to clean up. I just don't think she's equipped for the job. But I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so when's the next time you're going live or posting content? Because you've still got credit with me. You're one of my sponsors.
Well, we plan to go live this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely be on the lookout for that. As far also, I want to make it, very plain to everybody that we have seen some very substantial growth since we've invested into the machine, and it's paying dividends as far as subscriptions, viewership, etc. So we are very appreciative for you allowing us to come on board when it comes to the machine. So we appreciate that on this side.
And always send us a link when you post a new video so we can get that, get that in the community section for you and drive that traffic over there, all right?
Absolutely. All right, then, Star. I'll catch you on the flip side.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Easy.
Okay. All right. One of my sponsors, folks. Okay. On their next podcast. Guys, if you want to be a sponsor, reach out via email. Okay. We do send you analytics. You have to see what platforms are doing for you. You have to see the back end. Hang on a second. Where is my email information? Okay, here it is. For the most part, we're having a good conversation. I want to remind you guys, please, on the language. It's early evening now. Please watch the language. Okay. Hey, Vera, I got your donation via Cash App. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, she said that's my first time seeing that squirrel Primo that you talk about. Yeah, he does all sorts of trampoline jumps and what do you call those things? Knee drops and then the back flips and I sit there smoking my cigars from time to time and I'm just watching him like zoom, 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 zoom. A lot of energy that guy has. Where's Houston? Is that Houston tapping him? Houston, thank you for your patience. Good evening. Early evening.
Already, man. Already. What up, Doc?
Good to talk to you. We've been running.
Hey, Dog.
We've been running your banner, man. Did you see that?
Hey, man. I really do appreciate that, man. You know, it's much love my way, dog. Okay. Primo, I think he's gonna break in your house because I'll be watching the squirrel park. I think you're Rican.
Well, yeah. I used to call him the Puerto Rican squirrel. But hang on a second. Hang on. I'm gonna be as PG as possible today. I've already told you that, when I wake up at 7:45 in the morning and I look out the window, he's sitting right there looking at me. On three occasions, he's sitting by the fountain looking at me. I'm like, what this? God damn, looking right at me. So he knows my schedule. He knows my schedule. So when I put, the food out there and I brush off the artificial turf and then I put some of the different nuts inside the little houses. He's ready. He's ready to turn up.
He already got his eye on you.
Yeah.
And then I be seeing the raccoon come through there. He mean business. And the birds be flying through. I'm like, man, it's about to go down.
Yeah. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. But man, to Kamala, I think she lying it too late for her to pull that bag because she should have been pulling it at first because it's just too late. And then, ain't you the same person under the same, like, she talking about helping out black people, and then Obama got up there talking crazy, trying to act like black men flat backing to them or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think that really ruined it. And then on top of everything, she ain't talking to nobody else because she even gave everybody else money.
Yeah.
Nobody else need to talk. They got their money. So they get mad at black men, especially when straight black men, because they understand the joke is up.
Yeah.
And then now she trying to, her and Obama got the same dance coach. I don't know what they're doing. You seen them doing that?
Yeah, well, listen, I've got to give credit to black men who have said no to her, her economic opportunity initiative here, because I've been watching the trends, and a lot of black men, because that's what we're talking about here, have not just taken what she's put out there, hook, line, and sinker. It's initiatives. It's like, dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit's face. Hey, if you do some tricks, I'll give you a piece of the carrot. There's no.
It's like
there's no from what I can see. There's no tangibles. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like a woman in the club, in the strip club, dangling her G-string. I'm like, man, you know what I'm talking about? I'm like, man, we just in there to throw these couple of dollars and move around. You in there talking about your life story. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to hear that, man. I'm like, you done did too much.
Right.
You done did too much to talk down on the black man, and now you see that the black man ain't messing with you.
Right.
Now you need to go back to master.
There you go.
And then go get your business right. Go get your wig right. Go in there and cook them greens in the tub. However you doing it. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Listen to Earth, Wind and Fire and listen to Tupac while you was in college. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like, she crazy, dog.
Hey, Houston, I appreciate you calling in, man. I'm getting backed up on calls here, and thank you for watching the Squirrel Party, man. Thank you.
Hey, man, I love that channel. But hey, salute, man.
Salute. Okay, thank you much. Okay. Hang on, guys. I want to make sure I'm promoting one of my sponsors. Bob the Dog, are you out there? Bob the Dog. Okay, let me see if I can get Bob's information on the screen. Folks, please take notice if you have not, when you become a sponsor and we get you on the line, which I encourage all the time, we do want to make sure that we are promoting you so people can find you. Where is Bob's information? Here it is. Go, Bob, go. I think Bob's going to be tapping in this afternoon. Okay. Barry, I got your donation. Thank you, sir. Yeah, man. I thank you for noticing that. I'm letting people speak freely. I mean, I could just kick her back in, but politics is a dirty game. They're all liars. Everybody's got something in their closet they're hiding, and skeletons, so on and so forth. Something I do want to mention, though, with regards to what Kamala Harris and other Democrats tend to keep putting out there, and I'm not making any excuses for the guy, okay? This thing with Trump putting the ad in the paper decades ago about the Central Park Five, asking for the death penalty. That was a common thing. A lot of people felt like that because of the nature of the crime. It wasn't just him, A lot of people felt like that. And whiling, as we used to call it, whiling was something that a lot of people did. A lot of young people in those parks, not just Central Park. That was the tone once upon a time. So at that particular point in time, saying that about those young men who have since been exonerated, that was a common feeling. I'll just say that, okay? Not to excuse it, just excuse it. Just want to point out. I think this is Bob right here. Hold on a second. Is that my sponsor? Go, Bob, go. Tap it in.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hey, man, good to hear from you. It's cracking.
Let's take 1, 2. Yeah, I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good. I got everything on the screen there. Is that spelled right? youtube.com/@GoBobGo.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where do you want to start, man?
I'll start with your boy, Fat Joe.
Okay.
Real quick with Fat Joe.
just real quick. Keep playing. He. This is just a move to get you to do some stuff on some political stuff, but he's still down for the snacks. You know what I'm saying? For the snacky dudes, this is what he do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Coming from a former fat dude, you know what I'm saying? He gonna get back on the jams. You know what I'm saying? That's all I wanted to say about Fat Joe.
Well, hang on a second, because your content is very avant-garde, if you will. Are you going to be addressing him or something along those lines on your platform?
No, I'm not going to address Fat Joe. Man, everybody know what it is with Fat Joe. I like to do, like you said, avant-garde, obscure type stuff.
Right,
so
right.
Fat Joe not obscure enough. You know what I'm saying? He just a fat dude, and from what I hear, he constantly lying. So, he down with the Kamala squad. So,
But hang on a second. Hang on a second. If you ask me, I could be wrong. There's a reason for his lying. There's a method to his madness. He lies and then admits that he lies, and he doesn't really go back and apologize for the lie. That could be some type of psychological defect. I mean, he gets caught in the lies. But now we've got a guy who sat down with Kamala Harris. I forget what they were talking about a month or two ago. I think it was with marijuana, something like that. I think he's going to run for an office at some point in time. He has to. He strikes me as the quintessential political liar. He's gaining experience lying. Go ahead.
I don't know what to say. I mean, okay, if that's what he do, lie, and he's going for political office, then it sounds like it's something that's right up his alley.
Yeah.
And again, in my opinion, it's a good do as far as him getting back to the snacks, because I got jams ready for him. Okay. I'm selling jams.
Okay.
I'm selling jams on my website. So
tell us about your site.
The peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Peanut butter with sour cream, whatever wild style concoction you want to make with toasted bread. Tell them to come on.
Okay.
It ain't even going to be that much calories. But to the Kamala situation,
please.
Nah, she's a liar too. She not down with nothing we need. She's just the fall guy. You know what I'm saying? Like on the movies type stuff, right? So in the movies, when the world come into a, screeching halt, it's always a black person, whether it's a guy or a chick. So they putting her in that situation. So it's going to be a win-win no matter what in this situation. If she does what she's supposed to do, it's like, all right, the breezies, the women.
Yeah.
That's what they trying to do anyway.
Okay. Let me jump in here for a second. With regards to your platform, how often do you post content? And do I have everything spelled right there in the showrunner? How often do you post?
Hold on, let me check, because I don't even got the joint. Hold on, let me see.
Well, I mean, do you post content once a week, twice a week, or do you go live?
You got it right.
Yeah.
You got it right. But yeah, I post, I try to post every week or every other week, because my stuff take a lot of production, as you've seen. Right. If you did check it out, or your people checked it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I put a lot into it. I try to give, the love aspect, if you will,
right,
with it. So when you come to it, you know what I'm saying, you get some delicious treats or whatever, or something that's you can go away with and watch it multiple times, as opposed to just one time and then throw it away.
Okay. Hey, man, I appreciate you tapping in. As soon as you post a new video, email us right away. Just say attention, Amy, so we can get that cracking for you. And did you leave a comment under your video so people will know that you're active?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I haven't did it lately, but yeah, y'all come in and do what y'all do, and I respond, blah blah. I'm here.
Okay.
Just get at me.
Good to talk to you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of my sponsors. Thank you for your donation in the live chat. Rikers, okay. Okay. You know, listen, I don't want to go back to the Central Park 5. We've had that show already, but I wasn't making an excuse for Trump by no means. I'm just saying that, you know, they seem to like always go to that, you know, but the landscape was different then. Language and a lot of stuff was acceptable back in those days. Hell, I grew up watching Sean Connery play James Bond. He stayed smacking women in movies. Pow! It was acceptable back then. Guys, what year was that when Sean Connery did the interview with Barbara Walters and she asked him, it was early or mid-'80s, if he regretted making a statement that every woman deserves a good smack in the mouth. What did he say? Once in a while? And he doubled down. He doubled down. He said, well, no, I don't regret it. He said, you know, sometimes it's warranted. I'm just trying to give you context. That's all. William, I got your donation. Thank you very much. From the Soil TV, got your donation. Shells got your donation. Complaining that Kamala has a plan? Question mark. Stop crying. So I'm putting it out there. I want people to feel free to call in. Speak if you will. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. Hey, and also, folks, with regards to 30-day promo, if you use Zelle, we're giving 30% off. Where's my Zelle information? Hold on a second. This is for the next 24 hours only. A 30-day promo package. If you use Zelle, 30% off. There's the Zelle information, okay? Sit tight on the phones. I want to bring you folks in. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody who has supported the machine that can't call in, but they are. Okay. Hey, Deeds. Deeds says the Sean Connery, Barbara Walters interview was in 1987. Damn. Are you sure, Deeds? I thought it was earlier 80s. Yeah, he doubled down in 87. And then she said to him, well, what if she hits you back? And then he said, well, that's going into a different area. Then she may like that sort of thing. Oh, my goodness. Hang on a second. Okay. One of my homies tapping in. Salute Officer Corey Pegues. Retired officer. That's my guy right there, man. Uh-oh. Florida Boy Jay, good evening, sir. Thank you for tapping in. Florida Boy Jay.
Yep. Start. I'm live. You can hear me.
Yes, sir.
We got to get to this.
I have to say this. Please watch the language. It's a different audience there, so we want to, have this conversation and not do too much. All right.
Oh yeah, of course. I was just about to say this is a political conversation,
yes.
This is a different speed.
Yes, sir.
Where would you like to address the question, or how would you like the question to be posed so I can answer this in the correct manner?
Well, I'm trying to be as fair and objective as possible. I'm no supporter of Kamala Harris, but she got the Democratic nominee. She's going 10 toes down. She, as of yesterday, released this economic opportunity and supposedly is targeted at black men. It's a 5-point plan. We've been going over the points. I don't see any tangibles unless I miss them. Take it from there.
Yeah, this is literally just a last minute Hail Mary from the Democratic Party, because the internal polling numbers, I'm pretty sure you guys have talked about it already, have pretty much probably came in, and out of ignoring black men in the whole campaign, wouldn't even address black people as a whole, wouldn't even address her blackness. Now she's did this a 180 and now wants to throw all these things out. And at the end of the day, we're asking for specific tangibles. When you have and others in these things,
right?
That basically is like we all say, a nothing burger, lift all boats, a type of ploy that she's using. And at the same time, it's like you're doing these last minute panel discussions on CNN. You're bringing out Obama. Now you want to sit down with Roland Martin. I know we always make fun of Roland Martin, this and that, but at the end of the day, it's like, why is as much work Roland Martin does for the Democratic Party, regardless if you like him or a fan of him or not, it shouldn't take to the last month of an election for you to sit down and have a conversation with Roland Martin. You know what I'm saying? If you weren't a black vote, you should have been tapped in with the black butter biscuit dancers from the jump, because a lot of them can't even come out and defend you. This Obama thing to me was Obama double crossing Kamala Harris in a way, because I don't think nobody asked Obama to come out and say what he said the way he said it. I don't think nobody thought if Obama was going to come out and specifically,
I beg to differ.
Black men.
I beg to differ. I think that the Democratic Party asked him to ramp it up a little bit more, and he did. He got very disrespectful. But let's go back for a second, because I've never taken shots at Roland Martin. I think he's a smart man, even though we don't share the same ideology and or philosophy. I think he's a smart man. She did recently sit down with him. I did not see the exchange. Did you see any of it?
See the exchange, sit down with who?
Roland Martin. Didn't she just do a sit down with him, or is that old footage? I could have swore she just sat down with him and she's scheduled.
No. I didn't see that. All I seen was him and Kamala Harris have a conversation. That's
what I'm talking.
That's the last thing.
When was that?
Yeah. Okay, I didn't hear you say Kamala Harris. I just didn't hear you say Kamala Harris. But no, I did watch that, and even in that interview, it's like if Roland Martin, and this be my issue, Roland Martin, you have such a politically high Q when it serves your narrative, but when you were in position to have these conversations, just like he was on MSNBC, and they ask you real yes or no, black or white questions, you start stumbling and fumbling, and Alec, you don't know the answer. And then, and at the end of the day, it's not about HBCUs, it's not about trying to put money towards other businesses and whatnot, man. It's about giving people direct tangibles exclusively that's going to help them.
All right, now hang on a second. I'm on his website and I see Kamala Harris talks black agenda with Roland Martin in North Carolina. So this was recent. This was recent when they spoke. Are you there? Photo Boy Jay, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm listening. Yeah, I was waiting to talk. Right here.
It was recent when they spoke.
Yeah, I was waiting. Yeah, my whole point is, even with Kamala Harris in talking to Roland Martin, or sit down with All the Smoke podcast, or trying to have this late black man push, knowing damn well that you weren't trying to have a conversation with us months ago, that you don't have anything tangible for us at the end of the day. Right. And honestly, I feel like President Biden stepped on Gavin Newsom running this year by pushing Kamala Harris forward before they can announce that Gavin Newsom was going to take that step.
Right.
And we're going to see what's going to happen in a month.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I see her as being the ultimate grifter. She constantly says things and then retracts them, but she giggles and it it goes by, and people don't necessarily make her stick to what she said. I don't know, man. I salute black men for pushing back on this. Have you been paying attention to any of the pushback on social media? They're not going for it. It's just, as you said, it's like a nothing burger.
No, absolutely. And I was just about to say one thing that I will give a lot of these traditional bootlicks and just traditional black comments.
Your phone went out. Photo Boy Jay. Say again. Photo Boy Jay, your phone went out. Are you there? Photo Boy Jay.
Can you hear me?
Do you want to hear me? Your phone's going in and out. Do you want to call back? What's going on?
Oh, no, I'm good. My phone's going in and out. But what I was saying about, I will give credit to all the traditional bootlicking Democratic commentators. They are calling it on the money on this topic. Yeah. They aren't giving Obama a pass. They aren't giving Kamala Harris the pass. They're showing the polling numbers from 2012 Obama to Clinton to Biden to Harris, and showing you the steep decline when Kamala Harris's campaign is running right now.
Yeah.
It's showing you it's not a black man, it's not a black woman, it's not even a white person issue. It's a Kamala Harris issue with the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
I'm happy we have stats to back it up. It's showing that black women are also in decline. It's not a black man issue. Black women are also in decline about Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, when I think of Obama, a.k.a. Nickel Slick, man, I think of, ushering in the whole global economy, narrative. And I will never forget when he put the Medal of Freedom around Ellen's neck and the nigga whimpered. You remember that? He wiped a tear. But when he put the Medal of Freedom around Cicely Tyson's neck, he just gave her a pat on the shoulder and said, "There you go. There you go."
Star, I'm not gonna lie. I think to me the most enraged moment I had with Barack Obama was after the Charleston shooting, and he got up there on in the church around all them old ass Negroes, one of the pastors with a long chain down to his knees, and Obama started singing Amazing Grace like some old beat down whip slave. And was shaking when he was singing it.
Yeah.
And amazing, great man. I swear that's when I gave up on old niggas in the black community. Was that day. I knew.
That's when he sealed the pimping. He sealed the pimping.
Nigga. High level space age pimping by Obama, man. Jeremiah Wright. Get Jeremiah Wright on line 9 for Chicago, man.
Wow. Hey, man, great to talk to you. When are you going live again? People miss you.
We're going live
in the community section, and they miss you, man. Send us a picture and your next stream. Come on, man. People always ask, "Yo, where's FBJ's picture?"
Yeah, we're gonna go live after you go off on your show, so it's gonna be a nice little segue.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? By the time we get back home, I'm not saying I don't know what time you're gonna get off. By the time you get off, we should be propping up. We got a lot to talk about tonight, especially with these politics.
Great to talk to you, man. Salute. Great to talk to you.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Okay. Relly Riches got your donation. Okay. You can send me a link. Relly Riches, thank you for your support, sir. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but we're having a good conversation here. Okay, someone's sending me an email about Tim Walz allegations, and we'll get to him another day. Chef C, good to talk to you, sir. Houston, good to talk to you. Folks, we're going to continue this conversation. I may want to take my break shortly. Okay. Firestarter, got your other donation. Okay, thank you. Okay. Firestarter, sit tight, man. I appreciate your donation. But right now, we're talking about the jokes that may have gone down. The jokes. I swear, man, when I see her, Kamala Harris, I think of an AKA, a girl from my generation. She is from my generation who's just, she's clever, she's witty, she's dangerous. Did anybody in the live chat, if I can just go left for a second, anybody see Kamala Harris singing "One Nation Under a Groove"? She forgot some of the lyrics and then she started laughing. Oh my goodness. Respect the grift. How do I say your name, young lady? Teninsi. If I said that wrong, thank you for your support. No, baby, we'll get back to Jaguar Right another day. I don't want to keep talking about Jaguar Right because if we do, then I'll have a nightmare, Sometimes when you keep talking about something, it compartmentalizes, and then when you're sleeping, it can pop up. Could you imagine me sleeping and then Jaguar Right whispers in my ear and kisses me on the neck? Thank you for your donation, young lady. Thank you. Okay. Hang on a second, guys. Let's go back to Fat Joe. Has admitted to using Ozempic. Fat Joe, that's my showrunner. Okay. Hang on a second. Here's somebody tapping in from California. Area code 310. Good evening. We're talking about you rolled out.
Hi, Star. Sorry for my voice. Hi.
Hey, who's this?
Yes, my name is Michelle from California, and I am very upset about it. I stand 10 toes deep for Black men, FBA particularly. I'm super upset about everything. And the side note, it's upsetting that we're not free because you can't even tell Black people that you might not vote for her, like the majority. Now it's becoming different with all the Black men coming out in the last few days, but you got to hide and do all that stuff. We're not even free with each other. To say, I might not vote for her. That's how brainwashed it is, but it's all BS. It's not even, it's like the guy or the girl that's cheating on you, beating you, whatever, over and over again. And then they're like, okay, baby, let's get back together. And then they offer you some cheap, not even something that's really going it's just insulting Black men's intelligence.
Right.
And a lot of Black women, I don't know if they're waking up or not, but the sisters that I can be real with, I'm like, sisters, if she's against your Black men and she's against masculinity, then she's against you. Right. She's against your future. Right. All that stuff is, so it's all crap, and it's not even for them, and it's ambiguous. And then I wanted to know if I could list some general reasons outside a question of why I think we should not vote for her.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
And one of your callers a little while ago said, well, what has Trump done for us, right? And they keep asking that question. They deflect and they say, a lot of people say, well, what has she done for us? I'm voting against. We can't let him get in. Right. First of all, before I even list why I don't want to vote for her, I don't know if you knew or maybe I missed it and you said it. I read yesterday that Trump flew in Mandela when he first came. Did you know that?
Yeah, and Trump financed Jesse Jackson. There's a whole list of things I could literally run down. Yeah. I could run down here. But you see, me being a Trump supporter, when I say it, when I talk about his policies, then it becomes me not being objective. So I tend to try to stay on topic, let people speak. You follow me? And then I remind them, well, the topic is not Trump. Not that I'm avoiding anything, but I'm trying to give all the attention to this 9-page, economic opportunity rollout. But you can go wherever you want to go. Please take your time.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to. And I'll stay real general just to be brief. And I'll just bullet point the reasons. And then if there's any that you want to expound on, I will in terms of me. So number one, I'm just going to. Let me just say this to anybody who is for Kamala. That's kind of what this is for, or else I'm preaching to the choir. Right. If you're for Kamala or you're not sure and you're like, well, what has Trump done for us? And okay, so I ask you, not only what has Kamala done for you, but what has she not done for you? And what do you stand to lose if she gets in office? And here's what you stand to lose. Number one, your civil rights and your human rights. What do I mean? The Constitution, she said, and everything I'm about to say, nothing is opinion, nothing is emotion. You can find these online, her stating these things out of her mouth. I've only listed the things that she stated. She said, I want to ban free speech from social media. And basically anything that you have to say that's against what she believes, she wants to ban that. So free speech is number one Constitution. That's number one. That's the biggest thing to me is my constitutional rights. Number two, she already said, we know this, she's not going to do anything for Black people. If she says it out of her own mouth, people, come on. But yet and still on the heels of that, she's done specific things for all the other groups, as we know. So I just wanted to say, logically speaking, if she said that, but then she said that I'm not going to do nothing specific for anybody else, immigrants, trans, then okay, playing field. But we're the only group that she has blatantly said that to. She hates masculinity. And if masculinity is gone, humanity is gone. I'm with you. I'm with you. I know women ain't gonna like this. Look, ain't no man ever hit me. I don't want to get slapped in the mouth. If I do, we going at it. But I get it. Billy D. Williams and all that. Real men, it's going down. But anyways, the vax and lockdowns, I was against that. I'm for you if you want to take it. But all these women are talking about my body, my choice. But the same people are saying you should be forced to be locked down or you should be forced to get injections into your body. I mean, she's saying, you know, she's for forced vax and forced lockdowns. They're also against forced digital IDs and removing cash. Fine. Digital ID or digital currency is fine, but not removing cash. She's already said she's for that. We've heard her say what she did for trans prisoners, not just trans people, trans prisoners. They also, her and her candidate, her and her VP want it for children, not even adults, only, also for children. I mean, these are all things that y'all, whoever is saying this, are you for this? Like, really? So, and neither Kamala or Obama are FBA. And black people who are from this country, whose parents were slaves, built this country as we know, and none of them get a shot at being in it. And so I'm not against anybody. And this is the last thing I'll say about it. It shouldn't be about identity politics of who we vote for. It shouldn't be about that at all. It should be about who's going to do something for you or who's going to cause the least harm. So my last comment about Trump, if you say, or if you're asking, well, what has Trump done for us? It's not about what he's done for us if you feel he hasn't done anything for us. It's about who in general is going to be the best for America and this country and all the immigrants, which I didn't even mention that, flooding the border, and y'all want to act like y'all don't know what he's talking about when he say taking away from black jobs. You know exactly what he means. That was not a racist comment when he said that. He's talking about black people's jobs or whatever. And all
if I can jump in for a second here, you're on a roll. If I can, you're doing fine. If I can just add this to the conversation, you know, folks don't remember, or maybe they never heard about President Trump signing the historic First Step Act into law. Okay, 90% of those who had their sentences reduced, Black Americans. Okay, he also restored the funding and increased investment for historically Black colleges. Okay, called on Congress to pass school choice legislation to expand educational opportunities for all American children, especially those in our nation's inner cities. So he has done a lot of things, but again, I don't want to get on the Trump train.
No, but those are facts. No, but those are facts. It's not like you're a lot of people who are for her. And I know you got other calls, but a lot of people who are for her, it's all emotions or deflection.
You're right.
If you're for somebody and you're actually stating policies or what's out of their mouth, then that's fine. I want to clear up two other things. You mentioned the Central Park Five. I'm sure you already know this. You're the choir once again, but people who keep saying he said something racist about them, and Project 25, both of them, when he said that and took out the ad, that was when those poor boys at the time were saying they were guilty. They were tricked by Democrats to say that they were guilty.
Good point.
So look, if Black men kill somebody and they're brutally, if Black men or if Jeffrey Dahmer was Black, I would say kill him. I don't care if he's Black. So when the whole world thought they were guilty because they confessed, of course, we found out later they were tricked, but you only go by the information you have. So all of you who were saying that as an argument, Trump took out that ad when those men out of their own mouth said they were guilty. And then the truth came out afterwards. And Project 25, that's not his project.
That's not
he
his.
denounced it, and they've endorsed Kamala, which was probably a trolling move, but still they endorsed her. So so if you care about your rights, if you care about the trans agenda, if you care about immigration, you care about what goes into your body in terms of medications and not being able to use cash and not being able to speak your mind on social media and all of that. These are things they promised us they would do. If you care about those, forget whether Trump did something specifically for you or not. You will be injured and your life will never be the same, and neither will the country if she gets in office.
Yep. I thank you for your time. I appreciate you calling and stay in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now. Okay. Is it Quadero? He says, please keep this conversation going. Is it Quanardo? Thank you for your donations, sir. I butchered your name. Pardon me. I struggle with Ebonics or, like super ethnic names, with all due respect. Let me bring in area code 917. Good evening. We're having a discussion about Kamala Harris rolling out her economic opportunity. Are you there? Area code 917.
Hey, Star, Colleen, how are you?
Hey, Colleen, how are you? Thank you for tapping in.
I'm great. As you know, I'm a United States history teacher and a constitutional law enthusiast.
Let's go.
I teach 12th graders in the South Bronx. Last year, not one of my 12th graders planned to vote for Kamala Harris when they turned 18, or actually Joe Biden, if you'll excuse me. And they were equally as disgusted when Kamala Harris stepped up to the DNC throne.
Okay.
I was raised in the Bronx back in the 70s when the borough was burning, and then crack cocaine came along and threw some, gasoline on the flames.
Yeah.
So I've been riding with the Bronx my entire life, basically. And there was a rally for Trump in the Bronx last year, and quite a few people attended that. And not one of my colleagues and not one of my friends in the Bronx is voting for Kamala Harris.
Wow.
So I'm really, really surprised. I believe the media is lying.
Okay.
About the stats. I'm at the bodega.
If I can jump in there for a second, Colleen, I've been saying that, but again, sometimes it's like, they want to kill the messenger. I don't believe the propaganda of the polls and the race.
Absolutely not.
The race is so tight. And for those who didn't hear you, you said you are a 12th grade history teacher now, currently in the Bronx, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Please continue.
Yes, I teach general and special education.
Go ahead.
So, up until the time that I started teaching 12th grade, I transitioned over to a transfer school in the South Bronx, and a transfer school is for students who have had quite a bit of difficulty. It's not a District 75 school, because I'm teaching at a charter.
Okay.
A transfer school is a school for students who have already been caught up in the juvenile justice system, or they've had a really difficult time in historically generalized education schools. Either they were bullied or they had learning difficulties that made it, that made them not want to go to school. That being said, my students, up until they came to my class, they were completely unfamiliar with the Constitution of the United States, which says a lot about our education system. I'd worked on Wall Street for 20 years, then I worked for the Attorney General, and I decided to be a teacher because our children are in a precarious position now, especially those who are planning to graduate from high school. So, I'm not at all surprised that these numbers are reflecting, or current news reports are reflecting, that she's going after the black male vote. None of my black male friends are voting for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I don't know, again, where this information is coming from. And I understand you spoke briefly on the Central Park 5. Again, I lived in the Bronx when that case occurred. Most of us saw the news reports back then and the interviews where the young men were admitted that they had participated.
Yes.
In not the rape, but whatever happened to Trisha Melly. And a lot of people do forget the victim lost over 90% of her blood.
Right.
And it was a miracle that she actually survived. Nobody even talks about that. And it was my understanding also that the real perpetrator came forward many, many years later. The city of New York settled with the Central Park 5.
Yeah.
But the victim herself said, I wish they would have gone to trial. I wish we would have carried this to the end, because, of course, I wouldn't want to see innocent people. I just want to know what happened to me.
Hang on a second. Colleen, I can Google it, but wasn't the person who actually committed that crime, was he Puerto Rican? I forget.
Yeah, he was Puerto Rican, and his background including sexually assaulting his own mother.
Right.
Right. He had committed a string of rapes on the Upper East Side.
Right.
And because DNA evidence was still brand new, if used at all.
Yeah.
He had committed a string of rapes, and he also, again, sexually assaulted his own mother.
Yeah.
So that guy really should have been in prison instead of out on the street.
Yeah.
But he was out on the street, and this is what happened. And, it's unfortunate. there's an article that I'll share with you at a later time, written by a former detective.
Please.
In the Bronx, and Bronx homicide, about, of all people, he raised the issue of Mosby. I believe his name was Mosby. He was the guy that was responsible for the murder of Kitty Genovese. And there are some really interesting things. The reason why he linked this to the Central Park Five was because another person had confessed to murdering Kitty Genovese, but he didn't. Mm-hmm. It was a false confession. So the issue with the Central Park Five and Trump calling for the heads of the perpetrators, people used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
We were talking about, I don't think he went after the Central Park Five because they were Black and Latino. He went after the Central Park Five, or whoever the perpetrators of the crime were.
Because of the crime.
Because the woman was about 96 pounds, soaking wet.
Yeah. And
factually, she lost 90% of her blood supply, and her head was bashed in with a rock.
Yeah.
So I think any man would be spurned to anger and would want the parks to be safer.
Right.
But again, people are using that, and she's actually using that now as a commercial for her campaign. Oh, he went after 5 Black men, these young men, and destroyed their lives. That's not what happened. They were actually in the park wilding that night. They were actually committing crimes in the park that night.
Yeah.
Just not that crime.
Yeah.
They might have stumbled upon her body and they were all smoking. They were smoking weed. They might have been even on dust for all we know.
Oh my goodness, Colleen! Back in those days, it was angel dust, mescaline,
anything they could put. Yes, anything they could get their hands on. The only person I really felt any type of sympathy for was Salam. And when I was at Fordham Law School, he actually spoke to our class.
Okay.
And I was very proud of what he discussed with the students. But you have to keep in mind that it was a different time back then.
Oh, yeah.
A woman was almost brutally murdered. And the fact that they're using that against him now is laughable, especially when you consider Harris's record against Black men, Black parents in California, specifically in San Francisco, parents who had disabilities, parents whose children had disabilities, and they were sent to jail for educational neglect without even the medical records of their children being reviewed. So again, what they're doing now is despicable. She's now targeting Black men for the Black vote, and I really don't think she's going to win. I don't think she's going to win.
I hope not.
I hope not either, because let me tell you something. If she does, we're going to hell in a handbasket. As bad as it is now, and quite frankly, these Venezuelan gangs that they're talking about them like they're only in Colorado. They're all over New York City.
Yeah. Now, hang on a second.
They're knocking.
I know you don't want to say anything to jeopardize what it is that you do, but again, you're a history teacher, 12th grade in the Bronx. Do the gang members even make it to 12th grade, or do they just drop out in the 10th, 9th? I mean, do you interact with any of them? I mean, in the New York area?
Well, the gang members that I've helped either get into college, community college, or trade schools, they're all very, very nice kids. I've never had any problems with the gang members that I've had interactions with. They want to learn, or some of them have severe learning disabilities. They're reading at maybe first grade level, if that. Right. Their mathematical skills are non-existent, and we have to do a lot of tutoring with them. But I've gotten most of them into Job Corps, to learn specific trades.
Damn, Job Corps. Job Corps is still around.
Yeah, Job Corps is still around. It is. That
was a thing when I was in school in 81. Oh, you're going to Job Corps? I said, what? I'm sorry. I'm blaming.
Yeah, Job Corps is actually a lot of the offerings of Job Corps, especially in the Bronx. It's in the old Jewish orphanage in the Bronx. It's a beautiful, beautiful building.
Okay.
They offer trades in cybersecurity now.
Wow.
Medical assistant.
Wow.
Cooking. It's completely different. And they also offer apprenticeships in various trade unions like carpenters, electricians, construction. So most of these kids who were in gangs, they're in group home settings. So after they come of age or they graduate from high school,
age out.
The group home setting, they get kicked out. And the great thing about Job Corps is they give them somewhere to live.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
and they get an allowance, and they help them get the internships that are paid so that they can self-sustain.
Yeah.
Caveat to that is they have to be inside by 10 o'clock every night.
Let me ask you a question, Colleen. I don't mean to cut you short. Let me ask you a question. I'm just, I ask myself questions, and I answer myself and I think out loud sometimes. With regards to Kamala Harris and this, what she has rolled out here, nothing about child support or legal assistance for young black men. That just strikes me as an area that's more so needed than, a framework for cryptocurrency and initiatives. Well, child support, there's got to be some leniency somewhere. That is such a huge business. That's a business, right? Child support.
Well, yeah, child support is a huge business, especially through the courts, because I believe the courts take some of the money. And for the most part, many of these women who are on public assistance, they only get the first $50 of the child support. That's coming from the mouths of my students.
Okay.
So they only get the first $50 of child support. The state and the city get the rest, especially for young unwed mothers. It's a racket. It could destroy a man's life, child support, which is why there should be more counseling to use prophylactics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, use prophylactics. Don't just run up raw dog in every girl. Yeah. I understand hormones and everything, but I used to talk to my students like, just wear condoms. Here's another place that you can go to, the door. They give you free condoms, free birth control, free everything. Just go there. Please don't make any babies.
I think there's got to be some
that
type of legislation. When they're young and the hormones are racing like that, you can't control them. Also, one more question before you go. Legal assistance in high schools, any type of, along with what you just said, guidance counselors, is there anything that can help some of these young black and Hispanic men? Because, other cultures, I'm not going to say no names, they have family members. They already have a network of sorts. And if things take a turn for the worse, they can make calls and get assistance. Anything with legal assistance, any type of programs, or is that not even a reality?
Well, I'm gonna take it back as briefly as I can to the Lyndon Johnson era. As you know,
it's very far back.
You studied history. Lyndon Johnson, when he stepped in as president and did his war on poverty, it was a semantic war on poverty. In other words, he was going to war on the impoverished. And back then, the vast majority of black households, I think 70% of children in the black households were born to married parents. Yeah. After Johnson introduced his initiative, the War on Poverty, and it was mostly white children who were born out of wedlock, then it flipped. So the Johnson administration, coupled with the Vietnam War and the economic hardship of the 70s, obliterated black homes. So, like I said, you had poverty was at an all-time high in the Bronx. I can only speak on the Bronx. I can speak on New York City, but I'm trying to keep this as brief as possible. Okay. The Bronx, as Jimmy Carter said, it was a disaster area as far as the White House is concerned.
Yeah.
We almost filed for bankruptcy. Then you had the crack epidemic, which turned people who are hopeless into addicts, which introduced another level of dysfunction. Then there was violence with COINTELPRO ops. All of this stuff was going on right before my eyes as a child. And then you get to the 90s, and it was even, I know you remember New York City in the 90s. The violence and murder rate was astronomical then, too. Mm-hmm. So many of these children have trauma in the genetics, right? And trauma in the community. So after scientific research, psychological research, and research in the criminal justice system showed, it just doesn't work to put children in, unless they're really a risk to society, it doesn't work to put them in juvenile justice lockups like out on Rikers Island, where Khalif Browder passed away, he passed away because of Rikers Island. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that I can go into volumes about. But it works now to have a probation officer who really, really cares. Probation officers don't get paid nearly enough. As a matter of fact, I believe it's the only job in the city of New York where you're required to have a master's degree.
Oh, wow.
Is a probation officer. Okay. And the starting pay now, I think, is $48,000.
Oh my goodness! So you
with
go
a master's degree.
You go to school for all those
Right.
years. You're in debt, which has got to be close to six figures. Student loans,
and you're getting paid this very low, but it's not. It's mostly 9 to 5. So these transfer schools work with the probation officers to provide these children with psychological counseling, because I would say 99% of them don't have a father in the home.
Wow.
And or they don't have uncles in the home, or most of the uncles are like out of state, or many of them are incarcerated, and quite a few of them are dead. So we work transfer schools like the one where I worked in. We work to keep the kids on the straight and narrow using restorative justice techniques, staying in touch with the probation officers, staying in touch with the courts, and having people sit down with them just to let them know, we care about you.
Right.
We want you to have a good life. This is not the only direction for you to go in, and we're here for you if you need us. And it works.
Colleen,
all these kids really need to know is that they're cared for.
I thank you. I got to take a break. Take a break.
Right,
thank you. Hey, no, thank you for all the information. I appreciate you.
Okay, take care.
Bye now. Okay. All right. David D. Cordova, is that you, sir, tapping in from Today's Religious Talk on YouTube?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm live. This is me calling in.
Good to hear from you, man. Where do you want to start?
Great to be heard. I've just always taken the opportunity to promote on the greatest platform for promotional services there is, the Star Report.
Thank you, man. What do you want to start, please?
Yeah, definitely utilizing the platform to bring attention and awareness to my channel, which is Today's Religious Talk. Yes. Very, very fortunate producing videos, and just really want to get everybody to recognize that religion is a valuable conversation to have. You know, people talk about sports, they talk about politics, all kinds of topics, but I want to show people that religion is worthy of conversation, because religion, in my opinion, forms the basis of a society. And I just want people to come check out my channel, check out some great content, and learn a lot, you know. Yeah.
Okay, what's your latest video? Because in my community section, we have your banner, which goes directly to your channel. What's the last video you posted, please?
Okay, I put out one long form content video and then a couple 2 short form content videos. So the short's really good one. It's about Black women in the Bible, talking about 2 notable figures, prominent figures within the Bible, Black women in the Bible. And then a fun video, something light, I put out is Drake, a modern day Pharaoh. And I think people will like that one. That's fun. Okay. And my long format content I released just in time for the Halloween season, just for the people, is a Christian church service.
Okay.
An African voodoo ritual. This is a great video, and I urge everyone to check it out.
All right, now hang on a second. You said Black women in the Bible. You're not kicking their backs in, are you? Because, you know, people would assume that's what you're doing, or are you doing that?
Yeah, absolutely not. My mother is a Black woman, so I would never do such a thing. No, not at all.
Black women are the mothers of creation. I've said that on multiple occasions. My mother taught me that. Mothers of creation.
Yeah, that's a whole fact.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I wouldn't go as far. I know.
Never mind what we see here in America when we got these women running around here claiming to be queens.
Yeah.
But the Black woman in her purest essence, almost alien-like, mother of creation. Mother of creation. She had to be unique to survive in the plains and other things, to give birth, to procreate, and to survive. Go ahead.
Hands down, ruler. And hey, we might see in our lifetime another woman of color take on the mantle as the ruler of America. So maybe we're going back to the future with
no, sir. Most Black women, now you're getting crazy. Most Black women here in America are not cut from the same cloth as the ones in Africa. Let's slow it down. But now hang on. Hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
So have you focused at all on witches? Because you and I talk, man, and one of your expertise areas is symbols. Have you spoken about witches and demons?
Well, Well, what my ideas on witchcraft, like I do symbolic interpretation. So my belief is that the witches aren't the ones that are flying around on the broomstick sprinkling the fairy dust.
Oh no, no.
They're the ones. They're the ones who are getting money. So, because my take is that witchcraft is sexual manipulation. So I broke that down in another video. Is witchcraft sexual manipulation? And I break down the symbolism of what's properly shown to us in witchcraft and relate that to a modern day context. So yeah, that's what I do. My stuff is interpretation, symbolic, and I try to make people see how it's more real. And that's why you see the popularization of the B word in mainstream culture, particularly what was pushed in hip hop, because a lot of people don't realize the letter B is actually a W inverted with a bar on it. So when we see women, that term as a term used as an endearment to each other, they're really calling each other witches, not the B word. So it's to bring.
Would Kim Kardashian and her sisters be considered witches?
Well, I'll say.
I say yes. Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Sexual manipulation.
A lot more than just manipulation. You know what I mean? Let's you and I talk behind the scenes, man, because I mean, if you know, this is the objective perspective, and there are many females who can cloak, if you will, rob cultures, and then do things to make it seem that they are holier than thou, but in reality, they're just witches. Just witches.
You bet.
Anyway. All right, man. So I appreciate you tapping in. Anything you want to make reference to Kamala Harris before you go?
Yeah, it's just interesting to see how the situation unfolds, how it turns out. I always thought that to be a president, you had to be a Mason of the Masonic order, and I always thought it was male. So I'm trying to do some research on this situation, because I might do a video on her, because I want to see if there's a female equivalent to the Masonic Lodge, but a female version that females are members of. Because when people say,
is Kamala Harris a witch? How about that?
You know what? She's of Jamaican descent, just like myself. I don't know if she claims it. So
seductive,
gotta tread carefully.
Seductive, alluring, deceptive, huh?
Yeah,
that brought us. She's from my generation. And giggling. Why does someone giggle that much at 60 years of age?
I think it's disarming to disarm the opponent. Either that or just anxiety.
Yes.
What are the two? It's either a tactic that she utilizes to make people feel comfortable around her.
Bingo.
She tries to be, I'm just this bubbly, innocent person, but she could have a deadly mind. Who knows behind it, right? So.
Did they ever find out whose bag of coke that was in the White House? Not crack rock. Hunter's the crack smoker. Somebody dropped a bag of coke in the White House. But we have no proof. We have no proof. Hey, man.
The giggly lady.
great to talk to you. YouTube.com/today's religious talk.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
Thank you, David.
Okay, I'm tuned in.
Okay.
Thank you, Star. Tuned in. Bye-bye.
Folks, I have no proof about Kamala Harris. So let me take that back before, lawyer hollers at me. Hang on a second, guys. Yes, Deeds, I'm up to speed. I want to see if David knew with regards to witches. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm coming to the phone. Sit tight. Folks, please make sure that you are hitting the like button on this video. Deeds always wants me to remind you guys to do that. It's very important. Okay, someone is on the line. Area code 786. You are next. Give me a second. You will be my next caller. 786. Sit tight. Sit tight. Maurice, I got your donation, sir. Hudson Tubbs. Absolutely. Got your information right here. So you are up next. www.hudsontubbs.com. Peace. Shabon. Okay. He's trying to snitch. Star, weren't you wilding in the parks as well in the 80s? No, sir. No, sir. That was just a slight excursion when I was running with some of those Hispanic boys. They were bombing on the trains, with the big ass markers and the spray paint. I could never get the hang of that bombing stuff. I went out with them on a few missions. And then I said, what am I doing in a train yard, in a dirty train yard with rats, trying to tag my name on a goddamn train? Did I really leave the beautiful suburbs to come over here to do this and then run from police? No, so I snapped out of it. But thank you for trying to, put me with people who did muggings. All right. www.HudsonTubs.com on the screen. Hey, thank you for your patience. Area code 786. You sent in a donation. 786.
Yes, what's going on, Star? What they do? This is Al from Little Haiti.
Hey, Al, great to hear from you, man. What's cracking?
Same here. Just wanted to touch base on both topics.
Please.
And I wanted to answer David's question. He wanted to know what was the female equivalent to the Mason within that sector. It would be the Eastern Star.
Star.
Just to touch base, because I love the show. You always informative and as well entertaining.
Thank you.
Just to touch base on Joe Olympic, Fat Joe. I think Fat Joe is a great symbol to show exactly what today's society is. Just a bunch of lazy individuals that's not willing to work, that's looking for the easy way out, and want to lie about the progress that people are seeing before their eyes.
Right.
But we're not foolish, and we're knowledgeable to know what's going on. And to touch base on just the other topic with Kamala. And I'm gonna make this quick. I don't want to get long-winded because I remember we did a show.
Take your time. I'm in no rush.
I remember we did a show a while back on her tenure at as DA in California when she was with her truancy program. How that wasn't effective to the Black community, how that was actually detrimental.
Right.
And most people are not aware of the Freedman Bank. She had control. She had control of the bank with I forgot the young lady's name. I want to say her name is Janet or Jeanette Yellen or something like that. But yeah, they had access to over $8.7 billion that was funded.
Right.
That was new funds being distributed within that bank, and it wasn't distributed or introduced to the community or the minority community or the Black community, depending on how people want to label it or verbiage, whatever the case may be. But we just want to stick to the point.
No, hang on a second. Stay there. That's a very good point because we spoke about that here and what she did. She destroyed that Freedman Bank and they turned the comments off on the White House YouTube channel. So you can stay there. Again, I'm in no rush. There's a lot with her, things that she has said and done, policies put forth when she was the 32nd Attorney General. And now here we are, and she's talking about implementing things for Black men. Take your time.
For Black men, and that's disgusting within itself. I consider myself a Black man, even though I'm not ADOS or FBA.
Okay.
I'm a Caribbean from Haitian descent, but I was raised in the States, born overseas, but still, my whole formative years, my whole embodiment was built on American soil, if I could say that.
Yeah.
So I'm sympathetic to the cause, but that's not to say that I'm not a capitalist with my approach because I'm still an immigrant. And that's why I'm a move from the Freedman Bank because I am a contractor myself and I don't want to affect my pocket, because your show star, I will be honest, I'm going to just keep it 100. Your show, I bumped into your show less than 10 minutes ago, checking on one of my workers on a site over here in San Diego.
Okay.
So I'm passing by, just checking on the workers and heading back home to, finish my day off. And I hear you on in somebody's office. I walk in the office is the food processing manager for that area.
Okay.
So I'm looking at him Caucasian white guy, and I wouldn't think twice that he's listening to your show. He was like, "Oh my God!" He's like, "This guy Troy is entertaining." And I was like, I bet he is," and I leave. And I leave. But yeah, this just goes to touch on another page. She wanna insult us and talk about, oh, we're going to legalize marijuana. Let's be clear, y'all.
Yeah.
This marijuana industry is a $1 trillion industry. In order to get a license, you have to pass all these hurdles, all these loopholes, because I'm a dispensary owner. I have a license 9 and a license 10 license. But I don't have the license which is needed to own a full operation, a full-scale operation. Okay. What I can only do is have a storefront and do mobile deliveries, because I'm not backed by the bigger corporations. I had to get involved with a co-op in order to be partnered up with one of these big name companies that are government backed.
Yeah.
So she's not doing nothing to help us. She's not doing no set asides and say, hey, I'm gonna have the 400 license that's strictly for black males. Now, if you say you're doing that for the marijuana industry, yeah, I'm all for it. You got my vote. Yeah. But you're not saying that. You're saying we want to legalize weed. Half of us smoking in the house without no guidelines or following any stipulations. Like, let's be honest. Somebody's on the road right now, on the freeway, stuck in traffic, smoking a joint, going home. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But what's being said and what's being pushed in front of us is disgusting. Like the Democratic National Committee, which is most commonly known as the DNC party, is infringing on our Bill of Rights. They're trying to compromise on our freedom of speech. Right. We heard Kamala Harris first said X needs to get on board just how Meta got on board. Right. Well, what do you mean by that, Kamala? Yeah. What do you mean by that? That's freedom of speech. Second of all, the DNC want to infringe on our Second Amendment. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I was raised in the inner city. A criminal don't need a reason to carry a firearm, but you want to infringe on the common man, right to bear arm, right to own a rifle, a assault rifle. Like, come on. Yeah. Like, we need to wake up, y'all, and we need to, call BS and address it when we see it. And that's why, if you notice, and I don't want to be long-winded, but we have to be upfront and honest with what's going on. For the last 30 to 40 years, the black community has been raised by the black woman. I love a black woman. I'm with a black woman right now, So I'm not one of those males who hate black women. I love the essence of a woman. Mm-hmm. But Kamala Harris is a prodigy of pretty privilege. You got an attractive woman.
Very well said.
Who's a master manipulator, and who have these suckers and these tricks who are quick to say, well, I'll smash is equivalent to I'll give her my vote in the same breath. Right. Because they're not well-rounded enough to address the needs of the people or of their household. Now, I'm
Al, if I can jump in right there, for those who have never heard me say it, the worst mammy is a high yellow mammy. Those are the dangerous ones, as you said.
And I'm telling you, man, I'm from Dade County, Star, man. All the red bones been animals. As
you said, the pretty privilege. Those are the ones you got to watch out for. Those are the ones that will line you up, set you up, get you robbed, get you shot with no remorse. Go ahead.
with no hesitation. In the bed with you, just topping you off while somebody kicking your door with the 38, with the handle, with the duct tape wrapped around it. Right. Now, if you see duct tape wrapped around the handle, it's over for you. And she's over here crying and yelling, talking about don't hurt him, give him everything you got. Well, what do you mean everything I got? But, that's another story. But But you know, I mean, I'm a fly on the wall right now, Star.
Thank you, man.
I love the show topic. You know, I'm an avid supporter, and you did label my holding company correctly. It's called Durfler Holding.
Okay.
I used to send cash apps from my other business.
I appreciate
but for some reason, you always calling out my government, so I just said, let me just stick it to this one.
All right, pardon me.
I respect the trolls. No, you good, but I respect the trolls because the troll family is a different family. And on a lighter note, Star, man, you are a jewel sent to the community, because I don't know if people understand this, and this is why you always have my support and my respect.
Thank you,
because we broke bread, and I see till this day you still doing the same thing with everyone else that's a part of the community, and I want to tell this to the community and to the entrepreneurs out here, man. No matter how ugly it gets, man, keep pushing, because your dream is your reality. Don't let nobody else push you or downplay what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Respect, Star.
Respect. Thank you, man. Okay. All right. Guys, that's the homie right there. For those who may have forgot or those who never knew, that's the guy that used to call the Star Chamber back in the days. And he's the one who said first on the Star Chamber, never show your plate to a nigga that's hungry. You guys remember that? I'm not going to say his name, but he's from Little Haiti. Never show your plate to a nigga that's hungry. Guys on the screen, www.HudsonTubs.com. There's also a banner in my community section. And we're going to be rotating that banner back to the top. What is today? Tuesday. More than likely tomorrow or Thursday at the latest. Bathtub reglazing, anything by way of an antique or just something that, in your home that you want to restore, contact that man, Maurice. Hey, Chanel, I got your other donation. Thank you so much. Okay, you were driving near Emerald Isle. Okay, well, that's where I'm at, Emerald Isle. I'm not hiding. Area code 314. Sit tight. You're up next. 314. Okay. David sent me a link. Okay. Guys, make sure you go check out today's religious talk. David just sent me a link to a video. Is witchcraft sexual manipulation? Okay. And David, I haven't seen your video with regards to black women in the Bible, but just make sure you're being fair, man. Make sure you give some smoke to those white girls who practice Wicca. I've dated a few. They play by a different set of rules. Wicca, They do all. Anybody in the live chat ever date any type of white women who do all sorts of stuff on the job that you would never know of? They try to get a lock of your hair or a piece of your clothing to put all sorts of witchcraft spells on you. Don't just think it's, black Haitian women. White girls play dirty. Yes, they do. Let me go to area code 314. Good evening. We're talking about Kamala Harris and her economic agenda for black men, or Fat Joe admitting he's on Ozempic. Are you there?
Yes.
314. Hey there.
Hello. Kamala Harris's plan for black men is not a plan for black men. It's a plan for black men highlighted and bolded, and then in regular font, other. So she actually is not doing anything in particular for black men. Right. And I hope everyone is smart enough to read through the 9-page plan thoroughly. The fact that it's 9 pages is also very, very insulting.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. It's in my community section. And you're so right. It specifies other. I mean, I'm trying to be as fair and objective as possible. Anything else you want to point out or make mention to? With regards to her?
I just think words have meaning, and the way in which they are targeting black men as misogynists, as another label to them, in the overall American community, that can be dangerous. So they're pulled over by a woman. And now they have to worry about being all of these other things, having a gun in the car, being violent in general, but also not particularly listening to and or liking women. Why are we adding another stereotype to them?
Yeah.
That's unnecessary and unneeded. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And I also think the fact that Obama is so smart and so strategic, he should have known better.
I think Obama, former President Obama, is he's still riding high off of being the president for 8 years and talking crazy to black folk. You remember at the Black Caucus in 2011 when he said, "Take off your slippers, put on your marching shoes, shake it off, stop complaining." That was pimp talk. I said, damn. That was pimp talk. Go ahead.
It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to black men who overwhelmingly, like what we know for sure is that black men, primarily black women, want to be with black men. We don't generally like to date outside of our race. We also know that black women in this country are the most educated, right? We are the most educated out of everybody else. So they don't have a problem working or loving or caring for well-educated black women. They have an issue with Kamala, who would not have won if there was an actual primary. She's an unpopular candidate.
Right.
And so therefore they're trying to blame all of those things on black men. And I don't think that's fair. They've set her up and set us up for the okie doke. I see through it, and I hope other people do.
Can I jump in and ask you to address some of the black men that she goes to for support? If I say it, I'm hating on them. Why does, let me not say names. Why does she go to certain black men for support and they openly admit that they're not going to ask her any hardball questions? Why does she go to them and dance around any real hardball questions?
I think because she's afraid. I think because they're easily influenced. I also think that she sees black men as beneath her. So she's not going to get the most educated black men. She's going to get the black men that don't have any formal education. And if they do, they're generally not as bright. So I don't know if we're allowed to name names, but why would anybody go to talk to Charlemagne the God about anything having to do with economics, having to do with the black community, having to do with just progression and politics in general? He is ignorant. And admittedly, he's not well educated.
You see, I'm not saying a thing. Saying a thing. Come on.
I mean, I don't understand that. And then the other piece of this puzzle that's very, very offensive, if you remember when President Trump came to that panel of black journalists, it was not a panel of female black journalists. It was supposed to be black journalists. So from the beginning of her campaign, black men have been excluded. They've been excluded. It's been a woman thing. It's been a sorority thing or Divine Nine or whatever you want to call it.
Divine Nine. Woo!
That's who it's been.
Yeah.
It's been directed towards those people. And so that's who's showing up for her. They can't blame black men for not wanting to show up. They've been excluded.
Yeah. I appreciate this call.
She does not have my vote. Thank you.
Anything else you want to mention or promote? Do you have a platform yourself?
No, I don't have anything else I like to promote, but thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right.